9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello. I almost said hello, YouTube. I guess I could say hello, YouTube. Hello, Cryptowriter community. My name is Adam Carswell. Hi, Grandma, and welcome to episode 3 of The Shift. Today we are joined by Adriana Mendez, the CEO of Cypherglass. And Cypherglass is building decentralization into the world, and they support all open source permissions networks. Adriana was just on our roundtable recently as well, and we are super thrilled to have her here. Joked with Sean before, this was a few weeks ago, but basically it's like, all right, we got to figure out a way to make the roundtable like this elite event, and then whoever like crushes it at the roundtable or whoever stands out the most, we're going to make that person like the one who gets selected to like come on the shift on Monday. So I don't know if we're going to be able to continue that, but just so you know, guys, that's kind of what's been cast out there in the universe. And so here we go. We got our lucky pick of the day, and we're really honored to have her here with us, Adriana Mendez. So Adriana, thank you for coming on the shift. And I guess, do you have any opening remarks for our viewers and listeners today?
Just that I'm really honored to be here, that I'm really loving all of the community support coming out of the Uplift community. And thank you to Jimmy, Corey, and Sean for putting me up for this today. I was really excited to be on.
Absolutely. And so I am just taking a look here real quick. All right, awesome. We are in fact live. Okay, this is guys, thank you for those who were in line waiting for today's episode. By the way, we had just the growing pains of figuring out how to set some of these things up, and we just finally figured it out. And I'm looking at my screen here just to confirm that we're live, and we are live. So let's go ahead and get those comments fired up as well, because we will be interacting with you as we make our way through today's show. I've been instructed that we will all right, listen to this here. Do not, N-O-T, do not drop your wax address in the chat. We are playing trivia today. And if you're into the Cryptowriter community, you know what I'm talking about. You can join us on Telegram. Sean will be handling the trivia. So pay close attention today if you want to win some NFTs. Back to Adriana. Again, so happy that you're with us. Let's hear the story. I mean, how did you become the CEO of Cypherglass, which is definitely in the best way possible, a disruptor? I mean, I joked with you before the call. I heard you went from 3,000 followers on Twitter to 11,000 in 2 days. Obviously a little bit of an exaggeration there, but you're on fire right now. So kind of just tell us your story, how you got into Cypherglass, and like what brought us to this very moment.
So thanks for giving me some room to kind of tell my story. I have not done a lot of external communication with the community about who I am, just because I was already kind of flowing in the ecosystem when I took over and became CEO of Cypherglass. So most of you know me, from the EOS community, from leading Cypherglass for the last year and a half or so. I originally started as the community manager under Rob Finch, our previous CEO. It was a great opportunity. Started back in 2018, right before the network went live on mainnet. And it's been a really amazing experience, sort of a baptism through fire, if you will.
Nice. That's the best way.
Yeah, but it's been great. Rob felt like he wanted to go on to a couple of other projects, and left Cypherglass in late 2019 when I took over. And then just a few months later, I was running my own company in a pandemic. So it's been a super interesting experience, kind of forging this weird path of like digital nomad and, working from home in a time when everybody's trying to figure that whole thing out. And then working with new currency and new money and new technology that's just now, in my opinion, getting validated by this crazy market we're experiencing.
Love it. Love it. And one thing that stands out to me, and I'm sure you've heard this and you're probably viewed this way, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though you are probably a strong leader as far as just a woman in blockchain. Like we got a lot of guys over here, right? Like we're all nerds. And I think a lot of that ties to just kind of like the, I don't know, maybe the way we're wired, the adventurous spirit, like the whole pioneer space. And so when you have someone like yourself, running in this type of circle, if you like know what you're doing and you're talking about, you can stand out and kind of just really make a good name for yourself. And so I guess what has it been like for you, kind of being being a female leader in this space and someone who's setting an example for, other women to come? Because everyone keeps saying it, we need more women in blockchain, right? But it's so new that I think sometimes that might kind of shy people away. So just would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So I've always been pretty outspoken about, being a really independent thinker when it comes to feminism and female leadership. I've been all around the world and seen underprivileged women in other countries who can't even, get a passport and leave their country to experience the world the way I've been privileged to, just being born in the U.S. So for me, I've kind of taken my minority, which is female, Hispanic, and learn that everybody has a minority to them. Everybody is a minority in some way or another. And it's up to each of us to share the perspectives of that minority class and bring that diversity to the communities we care about. So I think blockchain does need more women, right? But it needs more of everyone. It needs more people of diverse backgrounds from every corner of the world. And my corner happens to be a Hispanic female from Texas. And so I do my best to just share my perspective without discounting other individuals' minority group, be it man, woman, ageist, all of these different things that the community can kind of take and, label you with. I've done my best to turn those into opportunities and platforms. And I think that's what makes me personally stand out. To kind of hear that perspective from a woman, I think is a little bit different. And it is something I wish we could talk about more without men getting offended or being intimidated by. Because what I find is that nobody seems to listen, or maybe that's not the case anymore because I've kind of gained some momentum, but it used to be that nobody really listened until I got upset. So, I would say that that's my perspective. That's what my personal complaint is. I'm sure other people have theirs, but being a woman in blockchain is powerful if you can wield it the right way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're intimidating me. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Well, I love that perspective, and I think for myself, like that's totally what has drawn me to this. I mean, there's so many actually principles that have drawn me to the blockchain and crypto space. The concept of decentralization. Looking at my story, I'm however you want to call it, I'm white and black, and like the last thing I will ever let anyone do is be like, oh, you should be this because of how you look. I'll be like, dude, watch. Like you can call me whatever you want. I'm gonna be Adam and dominate. Sorry, that was a little flex there, but I know you feel me. So um, anyways, so ¿puedes poquito español hoy?
Sí, un poquito, pero sí entiendes, pero no hablar. Pues sí, un poquito.
Okay, I had
Very
to throw Spanish in there. No hablo mucho.
I get it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. So what city in Texas are you from?
San Antonio, South
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
Born and raised, completely, immersed in Hispanic culture and, family, grew up with family meaning a lot. I really miss it. I love my home.
Yeah, go Spurs, right?
Exactly. Go Spurs. We'll come
I
back.
love the
I promise.
Spurs.
We'll come back.
I think they're like, I haven't been keeping up with the NBA a whole lot this year, but I think they're like right on the border of making the playoffs. And I know Sean, shout out to you, man. I know you're paying attention to the NBA. So let it someone if you're paying attention, let's get some like Spurs NFT chat going in the chat. Let me give some shout outs here too, real quick. So we got Joe. What's up, Joe? Justin. As I mentioned, Sean's here with us. Only Energy Gaming. Charlie. What's up, guys? And as we mentioned, we're going to be doing trivia today. So do not you can put your wax address in if you want to, but you're not going to get anything. Follow up with Sean. Sean, if you could put a link to the Telegram chat in the chat, then that would help everyone out a lot, I'm sure. So just pay attention closely today. Maybe the question will be, what city in Texas is Adriana from? You never know. So, all right, let's shift gears here a little bit. What you kind of talked about what you're working on now, but like things are moving so quickly. And quite frankly, I think as tech continues to evolve, it's only going to move faster. So let's just look at the next 90 days. Like, what do you foresee going on with Cypherglass in the next 90 days? And then what's like maybe a project to just keep an eye out on?
Yeah. Right now, I'm actually really excited about this ecosystem for two reasons. First of all, the EOS community and the EOS IO community has kind of been stunted by the token price being so low and going through such a deep, heavy crypto winter. I think it was a point of survival for such a long time for all of us that not enough tools and resources have been getting built or being distributed in our community. And that again, that's out of pure survival. At Cypherglass, we had to really batten our hatches down and make really hard decisions to go without certain services or even people on our team to be able to build our bags back up in hopes that the market would come back. And once we saw it rise, we'd be able to deploy some of those funds out into the community. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. I think you're seeing all the block producers and all of the thought leaders get together and rally around, the cause of correcting our mistakes and learning from them and introducing more value to the network itself. That being said, I think that EOS is kind of riddled with issues right now, especially in the governance sector.
I gotta cut in here because I know before the interview, like we're gonna sprinkle a little drama on this one. We're gonna sprinkle a little drama. And I want to know too, because I don't understand as a kind of like a blockchain rookie. I know enough to be dangerous. But if a platform is kind of built on EOS, for example, does that stunt the future, or are you able? I know you're probably going this direction, but like, are you able to start using another blockchain or system in order to continue moving forward?
Yeah. So at Cypherglass, we've built several tools for the EOS blockchain, things like Glass and Windshield that were going to be, really good tools for the block producers and validators of the system. At Cypherglass, our background is mostly in cloud infrastructure. Our two other managing partners have a ton of experience building out, cloud infrastructure for the likes of people like Amazon and Microsoft. So we were really interested in contributing towards the the overall health of the network from an infrastructure and decentralization of the data point of view. At Cypherglass, we believe that if nodes are running on AWS or Azure or something like that, we're at the mercy of Jeff Bezos flipping a switch and turning it off. So, I think it's really depends on your nodes and who's operating the nodes of that network to be able to say, like, does it have a chance? Does it not? The beautiful thing about the EOSIO software itself, which is what EOS lives on, is that it can be copied and pasted and calibrated with different rules for other networks to turn on. So you don't have to fork our network the way you do with POW or POS systems in DPoS. You can simply take the underlying code, carbon copy it somewhere else and call it a sister chain. And then you have features like interoperability. So all of a sudden it can kind of cut across all of the networks and you're spending a lot less on slippage if you're using a DeFi product. The problem with EOS is there's no DeFi products. So nobody's utilizing the best features of our network right now. In my opinion, the community is wasting time on, trying to enact a human-led governance mechanism that to me is just going to spin off and look like too much control from the validators itself is taking hold of that network. It's going to become a socialist network, in my opinion, if that kind of mechanism is allowed to live on the network. So it's my opinion that
it's going to become a what kind of network?
A socialist network.
Nice. Not nice, but I just love that you said that. I wasn't expecting. It will be though, right?
I think when you directly allow inflation from the network to fund the governance, it's allowing the governance and the money to touch. And if I've learned one thing from the Federal Reserve and the US government, it's don't let the government and the money touch. So
that's why we're here.
I'm not supportive of that. I'm not supportive of the angle of Eden so far. That does not mean my opinions won't change or that maybe I understand it fully. But from what I understand, we're asking to introduce a lot of problems to this ecosystem rather than leveraging our community to get things done that it really needs. Things like keeping these block producers accountable to putting things into the ecosystem, and not allowing block producers to earn quadruple the amount of other ones that are doing a little bit more for the community. I don't understand how Eden is supposed to leverage that against, like how that's supposed to help. I need to do maybe more research there. But my angle for EOS is that we should be building things, DeFi tools, and showcasing its best feature as a near instant, frictionless value transaction. That's what EOS is good at, is transferring value instantly and near frictionless.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Some golden nuggets dropped there. One thing that you just sparked my memory, and this is going to be a shameless plug. Sean, we'll talk about this in the future. I don't know if I'm breaking the rules here. Obviously, it's blockchain, it's crypto. We're creating rules as we go, but taxation is theft, guys. So I'm putting my a link to my personal store. You can buy a taxation is theft shirt there. What's that?
I am fine with taxation when I can see and I know where it's going to help my community. I am not fine with taxation in non-transparent situations that I know politicians are just sucking the life force out of it. So I think to add to that, one of the things I've learned from EOS is that taxation and inflation are not necessarily bad. It's how you govern them.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. What's it? Taxation without representation, something like that.
Exactly.
So the other thing there, so I didn't know that about the way EOS was structured, is that basically, this is layman terms, but you can copy the EOS blockchain or the code that you've written and then move it to, for example, I don't know, obvious, like Ethereum's the first one coming to mind because of its popularity, but any other blockchain model, is that how it works? You can just copy it and move it over? Like, am I missing something here?
Yeah, so what you can do with EOS.io is you can grab that source code. It's open source. You can grab it and create your own blockchain. And you can calibrate that code to set up a new network, a new permissions network. Many networks have done this. Wax, Telos, or all of these other networks are actually EOS.io networks that that underlying infrastructure is being maintained by Block One, by Dan Larimer, by anybody that's submitting commits to that GitHub that are accepted. Now, Block One is in control of that repo, I believe. I'm not sure anymore, but essentially the core code can be grabbed and it's your ability to fork it. So like the way ERC20 works, right? That's a token standard. In Ethereum, you can create a new token with the ERC20 token standard. You're just grabbing that source code, calibrating it to what you want it to be, and then launching it onto the ETH network. That's actually why the ETH network is so heavy and why you pay so much in slippage fees and so much in gas fees, because you're trying to send a transaction all the way from this side of the network, all the way to the other side of the network, and you're trying to make all these smart contracts talk in between. That's why you lose a little bit of your crypto when you go through Ethereum network. In EOS.io, it works a little bit different. Instead of combining all of these networks into one heavy, clunky network, you lay all of them side by side and they operate on their individual networks, but can speak through inter-blockchain communication. So it's a more efficient way to scale Web3, basically. So if you have all these tokens laying in the Ethereum network, and that's Web3 because you've got all these smart contracts, EOS.io is basically just a more efficient way to organize those networks side by side so that the user and the marketplace isn't paying the price in gas fees.
Got it. Okay. Man, I'm going to school today. We had a question come in from Sean, and it's, what kind of effect do you feel the community funding mechanism that's being put into the place will have on the community and EOS? Maybe you already touched on that a little bit, but elaborate further, please.
So he's speaking about the WPS system that was recently basically EOS Nation was given a grant by Block One and the EOSVC, which was amazing to see. And I would love to see way more of that. They were granted over $600,000 or $600,000 to build essentially a worker proposal system. If you're familiar with Ethereum, this is kind of known as GitHub or Gitcoin on Ethereum, which is, and this is like a lot of words, and I apologize for using so many buzzwords, but it is a.
It's okay. No, you can speak nerdy to me. It's okay. I might not get it, but the people that are watching, talk nerdy to me. I'll figure it out.
It's going to be a donation matching funding mechanism, crowdfunding mechanism, which means that everybody in the community will donate an EOS, whatever they want, however much they want, donate it into this platform. And the platform itself will then match the donation to be able to get stuff accomplished on the network, whether that's like code, building projects, like it's just a funding mechanism. It's essentially a VC for the network. Now, how that mechanism is controlled, how it's governed, that's a completely different topic. And it's my opinion that that mechanism should be completely off chain, completely separate from the network and third party and community ran. And that's mostly because I don't believe that the inflation from the network should pay for the WPS or any worker proposals. And that's because it's just too messy. It's too messy to try to build smart contracts, what humans are thinking, and can truly govern this stuff in a decentralized manner that I think won't be gamified for the benefit of just spending money. So I am supportive of the project. I think it's going to be great, but I think it should be run similar to the way that Gitcoin is run, which is completely, separate off-chain and donation-based only. This way, Block One and the EOS VC can commit funds in there without touching the network directly, and I think that's going to allow for a lot of compliance and regulation to kind of not be the thing that keeps them from supporting the network.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So, hold on, let me take a couple notes here. I might have some more questions. Quadratic funding. All right.
So quadratic funding, and it's difficult to understand, but it's really necessary, and it is something that's missing from our ecosystem.
Yeah. So we're going to get this multiple times throughout today's conversation, but just want to get some reminders out there. So guys, if you're tuned in, first of all, remember to hit the thumbs up button. If you get the thumbs up going, then we get more people in here. Now, if you're very competitive like me, you might be like, oh, dang, if I drive more traffic here, then my chances of winning trivia go down. But whatever, guys, just help us out here. As I mentioned, though, trivia, so pay attention. And Sean or someone who's in the chat, one of you guys could please drop the Cryptowriter Telegram link in there, because that's where that will be taking place. And then Adriana, what is your Twitter handle? And do you have a Telegram chat as well, the Cypherglass one? Like, I just want to make sure we get that here as we're making our way through the interview.
Yeah, we have a couple of ways you can get a hold of us, or me, myself. We are at Cypherglass in Telegram, and I am at Adriana Mendez in Telegram. We're on Twitter pretty actively, and I also manage and run the EOS Facebook channel that you can join. We are about to bring back AMAs and lives and community events, so you can find more there.
Nice. Do you have those links on on standby? Let's just grab them real quick and pull them up and sling them over here.
Yeah.
I sent it to your Telegram. Okay. No, sorry. I was just reading out loud. Okay, cool. So we got some links coming your way here. The beauty of live TV. Here we go. By the way, Cryptowriter Podcast Network, we keep saying this. Do I have to keep advertising the job here? We need someone who, you can talk to Sean and Kenny about how this will work out, but we need someone to help do the comments and basically what Adriana and I are doing here as we go live. Obviously, I don't mind doing it, but if you're looking to get involved, that's a need that needs to be filled. So hello, who wants it? Come on in. There you go. So those are Adriana's links, guys. Go get connected with her. On to the next question. So I'm wondering, and by the way, everyone who's with us here in the chat, feel free to drop some more super nerdy questions that I would probably never ask, because that's what we need you for.
Advanced questions, they're all welcome, guys.
Yeah, the advanced questions, let's get deep. But until then, in your opinion right now, I feel like I haven't asked this on the show yet, but I want to start making this a recurring question. What comes to your mind when I ask you in regards to blockchain right now? Where's the money at?
Oh, this is a great question. It depends. It depends on what angle you're coming into blockchain. Are you new? Are you just understanding this ecosystem? Or are you someone that's trying to make a living on the internet with it? Crypto and blockchain is the financial layer of the internet. It's Web3. That's what it is. All of it as a whole. Not one network is going to win. All of these smart contracts laying between networks are all going to talk one day. So it doesn't matter which token you're supporting, as long as it's got a community behind it, it's got good ethos, and the chain itself isn't compromised, you're probably in a winner. So I think that the secret to this market and making real money, nothing beats HODL. Nothing beats time in market. Go into a coin, DCA yourself in, diversify your portfolio, and just hold for 4 or 5 years, guys. That's it. Because if nothing else, these tokens are going to be a measurement against the purchasing power loss of the dollar and the inflation of all fiat assets. Just hold. That's the secret.
Have you I love that, right? Because you're at the end of the day, you're really acquiring market share. And if you can find community, that's a very powerful piece right there. That's what we found here.
Here's another angle that I don't see supported, and another perspective for my newbies and people that are really only looking at this as a financial investment. I can appreciate that because you're putting your money into it. But another way to think about these tokens is that they are allocated resources on these networks. The difference between the internet and decentralized networks that are going to lay on top of the internet is how the data is decentralized and how the computational resources on that network matter. So if on a decentralized network, you're holding EOS, you are holding rights to computational power on that network. You are holding the right to transact and send value on that network. The same can be said of Ethereum, Solana, all of them. You're holding rights to transact on that network. So you can look at holding these tokens as stamping your ticket early, and early adopters will be rewarded.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many examples. I think because, again, everything's moving so fast and you got so many people new to the space hopping in that people forget, looking at the original Bitcoin miners or holders, the people that were in Bitcoin, or we joked about $10 ETH before we hit record today. The people that did exactly what you just said, which is, hey, hold for, just hold for 5 years. Can you do it? look at the returns you're going to create for yourself.
Exactly.
And that's how I know that's how our community feels right now. We got to get this in the interview. Did anyone mention the Finny gold coins to you yet?
Yes, I have. I love the concept of Finny gold coins. I think they are showcasing the power of NFTs perfectly.
I don't know how long this meme is going to keep circulating through the Cryptowriter community, but there's Tyrone Biggums from Dave Chappelle. Do you know who he is by chance? Like the crackhead. He's like, you got any of them Finny coins? Like everyone's posted you got any of them Finny coins? I don't know who started.
They are really cool. And if anybody out there is listening and wants to build something for the network, go build an NFT exchange, please. Please.
That's a good lead.
We'll help fund it. We'll help build it. Please contact me. We need an NFT exchange on EOS.
There you go, guys. I know someone out there is going to hear that. So that's what Cypherglass is looking for right now. Someone who's going to build an NFT exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And now I must ask, because I think I know, but what would make you want to have that under your umbrella?
Honestly, I'm looking for smart contract engineers that want to contribute, their brilliance and what they've learned in the ecosystem for the last 3 years to real tools and products that are going to make money, make business, and create decentralized marketplaces. That's my focus. I think that EOS and the EOS network, could one day be used for something like banking transactions to beat out ACH payments because it's near instant. Who likes waiting 3 to 5 business days for their money to hit? Like, those are the things I'm interested in. I want to help build real solutions for real financial problems. So if you have an interest in doing that and you know how to develop smart contracts, or you are familiar with any of those worlds and markets, please contact us. We are always looking to sponsor and help projects grow and intern and mentor new minds.
What stands out to you when you are looking to hire or like bring on a new team member? For me, it's going to be someone who, it's crazy, right? Someone who simply follows up. That's a great sign. What stands out for you when you're looking to bring someone on?
Showing up stands out. Like, I cannot do the, did you Google it? Is always my first question to somebody who asks me a question. If you can Google and you can self-initiate that Google, I want to work with you because you already have 90% of the get up and go that I'm looking for than other people who have been traditionally educated in this space have. I like people who I have to rein in, not kick in the ass.
There you go, guys. I did see someone earlier commented she's cute when she gets mad. So I would have to reprimand. But that's good stuff. Good stuff. So as far as what else we got here, as far as taking Cypherglass to the next level, we just talked about the NFT exchange. What else? What do you think is like the one thing? I'll go back to like the 90-day vision. What's the one thing that is going to move Cypherglass to the next level, the next 90 days?
I am most excited about opening more nodes up to more networks. I think that where I am with EOS right now, as much as I love it, I've poured my heart into this network for 3.5 years. I've traveled to over 20 countries, been to over 200 meetups and countless events and countless podcasts. And I have just poured my heart and soul into this. And the one thing I've learned from it, and it's a lesson you should take into your investment portfolio as well, is diversification is important. With my time and my energy and my support as well, because pigeonholing myself into one community has led to a really difficult situation, because today Cypherglass lost our paid position on the EOS network, and it's because our community has kind of been lost, and we don't have the right mechanisms to be able to, you know, do what's right for the network, in my opinion. So I have a challenge for Block One, for Dan Larimer, to do what's right by the community, establish an EOS foundation so we can start hosting legitimate deal flow and being paid for our time correctly to manage that deal flow outside of being a block producer. So I have no other choice at this point in the next 90 days to start pivoting and diversifying my company as a node operator into other networks, to start seeing what's possible, because I am more interested in decentralizing marketplaces and creating on-ramps for people who don't have access to free markets than I am to save EOS or to save any one individual network.
Yeah, love it. And sorry, I was reading some of the questions coming through here. But Nick, showing up sounds like a very low bar. Is that bad? I don't know, Nick. Have you ever hired people before? I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, yeah. Anyways, we love you, man.
I tip my mods I tip my mods 10 to 15 EOS a month in the EOS Facebook channel. I've frequently gone out and asked people to do small tasks just to help boost community sentiment. So if you have an idea for a piece of content, for a legitimate business plan on how to use EOS outside of our ecosystem, call me. I'm ready to fund your project.
There you go, guys. Do you want to, when you say call me, do you want to drop the number in here?
Info@cypherglass.com is the email that you can send any funding requests to. The funding request must be one time only and flat rate, and you must send a proposal with it. So
what was it again?
info@cypherglass.com.
Cypherglass.com. Boom. And that's actually, I'm happy that you responded that way for multiple reasons. And one is, I just had a conversation with someone the other day. Sales tip for everyone out there. It's nothing really to do with blockchain, but just a life thing to keep in mind. When on your landing page or whatever it is, if your number one call to action is schedule a call now. Now, maybe if like schedule a call now means like set up a demo with my team, that's different. But if it's like set up a one-on-one call now with you as like the host and the creator, basically what you're saying to whoever your potential clients are is, my time is not that valuable because I'm willing to take a call with any random person. So if you have a schedule a call now button on any of your landing pages for your own prosperity, take it now. The info is a great one. So, oh man, you just said something that had me thinking one way, and now I'm trying to remember. So I'm going to flip it to, we'll flip the conversation here real quick. I asked Sean before the interview, I'm like, what's something I can ask Adriana to kind of like pull on her heartstrings? Like, what do we know? Like, what's a hobby of hers or something like that? And he's like, I don't know, but I think she has a dog. And I'm like, oh, cool. I have a dog too. And I know Sean has too. So let's hear a little bit about your puppy.
Yes, I have a dog. I am the true blue workaholic to the core, where I pretty much stay inside 16 hours a day and type away at the computer. So in the best interest to keep my sanity and to put some love in my life, 10 years ago I adopted a dog. Her name is
Wow.
McKenna. Yeah, her name is McKenna. She goes by Mac. That's what the community kind of knows her by. And she's a 10-year-old chow mix who just kind of sleeps all day and follows me around the world. She's a true blue traveler, and we'll kind of get her on camera. There's her luxury suite when she travels. She has a whole section. Mac, you gonna say hi?
Nice. We're getting the tour, guys. Hey, hey,
Say
Mac.
hi. You're famous.
Hey, there we go.
She is a little camera shy.
I would say Dogecoin has some competition now.
She she's affectionately been dubbed EOS Doge. Um, and yeah, she really is like probably the best thing to ever happen to me.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, dogs are. It's hard to explain the bond between a dog and its human, but if anyone out there does not have a dog or has never experienced what it's like, go for it. What you were talking about, going to 20 different countries and all these different speaking gigs and everything that you've done, and clearly you've gotten to a level where you're not camera shy at all. Was there a point like in your life where you just pretty much thought you would never be doing what you're doing right now?
Yes, every day before I started doing it. I've come such a long way. I'm very proud of myself, and this community and this project has given me a sense of accomplishment that I have never had anywhere else. When I first started, Rob Finch saw some potential in me and really fanned that flame for 2 years. And I am beyond grateful to him because, I didn't understand his ethics or really what he was doing when he left the network. And it really hurt me. It broke my heart a little. You dedicate your life to something and you go all around the world doing it. To hear your mentor say, I'm going to step away now, is difficult. And you want to take it personally. Like, did I do something wrong? Am I investing my time the wrong way? What don't I see? You question yourself. But through that, if you push through that questioning, and when I did push through it, I kind of discovered that it wasn't about me, that it was about his journey, and this was my journey, and that I needed to make the best out of the opportunity I'd been given. And it was then that I really started working on like me, just how I viewed the network and what my beliefs were versus following the beliefs of other people. I started to ask more questions, and I did get more confident. And today I am, producing my own content and tweeting my own thoughts, which has gained me more support than anything. So yeah, it's been, like I said, baptism through fire, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
What's your advice for dealing with haters?
Um, just namaste them out of your life because oh gosh, I used to get so reactive. And anybody who knows me, who's been in the community with me for 3 years, knows that about me. Like, I'm so reactive, but it just doesn't do anything for you. And I've just truly learned that it's not about me. Whatever hate I'm getting, it's just not about me. It's that person. It's their perspective. It really isn't personal. And I will give Dan a shout out here because he recommended a book 2 or 3 years ago that I did take very seriously called The Four Agreements. And that book really changed my perspective. And that's how I handle haters is I just kind of let them go in peace.
Yeah, love it. One take that I heard recently that was really good is the goal is to just be as cute as possible when dealing with them. Smiley faces and emojis and on to the next one.
A lot of hearts.
I love you. That type of stuff.
It's thank you for your perspective. I'll take that into consideration. I respectfully disagree.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. There's some advice for you guys. Be as cute as possible to yo haters. What next? What next? Well, we talked about pioneering, talked about speaking Spanish. We talked about where's the money at those finny gold coins, hodling. I guess do you have any questions for me or for maybe for our listeners? Let's do that. Let's ask a question to the audience from you because again, I need some help talking nerdy. So what would you like to ask the audience?
Yeah. I think right now I have I'm wondering a lot of things from the community just because I've been in this so long, and when you're so up and personal with something, it's hard to take that macro view. So I'd love to hear from the audience, like where do you think the money is? What do you think the network is missing? What is going to make the difference to you? What's going to matter
Mm,
to you as the token holder, as the small guy? Because right now, in my opinion, the big guy is outweighing your size. So how do I, as a block producer, help the little guy?
wow, great question. Great question. And so there's like a 20-second delay between you and I in the feed. So we'll see what comes through here. I'm joking because I think this was probably before you gave your answer. But one question was, does she hodl Doge coin?
I am proud to say I have never bought Doge, and I am proud of that. Now, Doge is awesome. If you're trading it, that's great. Just understand that over 65% of all tokens in the world, Doge tokens, are held by only 10 addresses on that network. So, in my opinion, when you're putting money into Doge at this price that it is now, you're just somebody's exit liquidity, bro.
Love it. Yeah, I haven't dabbled. Obviously, with all the hype,
Do
there's
you
moments of
So how did you get into crypto? What was like your rabbit hole?
yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. My awakening was in that 2017 boom, the gold rush. I had recently quit my W-2 job and was going full time as a real estate agent. And during that time, it was amazing how from going from the W-2 world and punching a clock to being in control of your own schedule. I mean, looking back on it, I always joke and say, I probably didn't have the right systems down to be an entrepreneur at that point, but I was trying. And I just got indoctrinated by YouTube University and my buddy Jeff Berwick, I stumbled along his YouTube channel, The Dollar Vigilante, and just kept going down all these Bitcoin rabbit holes. When Bitcoin was kind of like I feel like anyone who's hyped up and talking about Bitcoin now, you don't want to, obviously we don't want to look down on them, but it's like, oh, I've been through that phase. And for me now, it's like, all right, what are these altcoins? Everyone's talking about, but anyways, or NFTs. But that's how I first got started was through his channel, and I'm just like trying to figure out, this goes back to kind of what we talked about earlier, like, man, why I could not figure out why the government seemed to just have it out for Bitcoin even back then. Like clearly politicians and like governments around the world, like they didn't like this, and I'm like, I don't get it. Yeah, okay, it's being used for like illicit activities, but so is cash, and it's not like the government's not doing illicit activities in the first place. So and then I finally realized, oh, they don't they don't like this because they have no way, they haven't figured out a way yet, at least, to tax it. And that's when I was like, I like this. It's liberating the people. It's giving us a chance to be our own bank and like so many other things. So from 2017 till now, I've just been, continuously educating myself. And like, we joked before the call, I was someone who kind of fell victim to that last boom and thought it was just going to keep going, kind of found myself back at square one. However, gained the knowledge along the way. And now things have definitely, we're not making the same mistakes anymore. So that's been my journey. Thank you. And for anyone here in our Cryptowriter community who hasn't heard my story, I hope it resonates with some of you guys. Why don't you go ahead and share yours with us? Because you were in at 2015, which is, pretty cool too.
Yeah. I don't have a background in finance or technology outside of my crypto experience. So, I grew up in San Antonio, went to UTSA, studied psychology, did not really think I'd ever be involved in even owning a business or operating a business, especially in tech. It's like if you had told me 10 years ago, yeah, you're going to operate a tech startup one day in the most hot, forward, fast market known to mankind, I would have just laughed. But it truly changed my life. And it was due to somebody in my office. I had a lame marketing account management job in some office for someone else. And, this dude that was in law school, that was my coworker, would not shut up about Bitcoin. Like it got really annoying. And at the time, MLMs were like this huge thing. You had like Herbalife and all these things happening. And I just like wrote Bitcoin off as an MLM the first time he told me about it. So maybe 6 months
As
later,
many did, as many did.
yep, maybe 6 months later, after so many water cooler talks, I really start to understand what this stuff is and how, the very short supply and the way it was being released and the distribution of it all was just starting to make a lot of sense to me. And this same person, Andy, who is still a dear friend of mine, offered me the opportunity to help market and work for their crypto startup. They had SA Crypto Meetup. And, that's where I got my start. I started going every Thursday, helping them bring in new members. We grew that group to about 300 people. And then it eventually we ended up installing one of the first ATMs in San Antonio. So there was just through those milestones and through those accomplishments and bonding with the community and really finding a tribe that it just stuck. Like it was a true blue Hotel California situation for me. Like I knew that I had found something that I was never going to let go. And Facebook groups, volunteering. I created the Bitcoin Beginner Box helped create the Bitcoin Beginner Box back in 2016. And that was the first time I'd ever built anything. And then that rush of building your own project got fused with my passion for, financial freedom. And it was like game, set, match, I'm done.
Yeah, man. The part that I like the most is it sounds like when you found your tribe is when you were like, yeah. And you started, and you also had a community focus from the beginning. Like you were bringing people in.
For me,
go ahead.
For me, people are always like, yeah, community management. And I think they get stuck because that's like the title of my job or, what it's classified under. But for me, I'm like, community is decentral. Like it is the same thing. If you're bringing about consensus through many, community is a natural part of this entire ecosystem. So to me, if you aren't serving the community, if you aren't doing that, then it will naturally push you to the edges. Like it is a very natural occurrence where in centralized systems, corruption, it really just breeds that corruption. It comes about naturally. I think in decentralized systems, it encourages and incentivizes honesty, which is the best thing about it. So for me, like if you're not feeling, like if the community isn't feeling you, you're failing.
Plain and simple. I mean, yeah, that's a good way to put it. The community's not feeling you, you're failing. So what's the secret to making sure the community's feeling you?
Honesty. Honesty is the number one. Like it should be your tool that you wield. It should be the sword that allows you to go out and like slay dragons, because if you're telling the truth and you're being honest with yourself and everyone else of why you're doing things, nobody can hurt you. Nobody can take you down because you've already exposed yourself. It's just like blockchain. It's just like crypto. If everybody's being transparent, nobody has anywhere to hide.
So I'm going to propose one trivia question here, Sean. It's what was the best quote from Adriana during the interview, at least so far? And it's honesty slays dragons. There you go, guys. Why don't someone do us a favor, quote that, honesty slays dragons, and tag Adriana on Twitter. And I don't know if you're going to get anything out of it. Maybe she'll follow you or something, but let's do that. Okay, so let's do another round of plugs. We've got the Cryptowriter group chat or Telegram chat periodically dropped here in the chat, the live chat. So if someone could repopulate that for us, that'd be great. And then I've got Adriana's Telegram as well as Facebook group for you guys here again. So we're going to put that in the chat. And then we did have a question, Adriana, come through from Maxo Coin. And he said, in general, in your opinion, what is missing in EOS? Fundings and some kind of organization that plans the future ahead?
It's two things. An EOS foundation endowed or supported by Block One, started by Block One. Like those positions, in my opinion, should be paid from the revenue that they have from the ICO. It's only fair. And the other thing is EOS DeFi. we are missing swaps, we are missing tokens, and we are missing legitimate transaction value. Right now, anybody claiming that the EOS network is the most utilized blockchain in the world needs to stop, because it is spam on our network. We need legitimate transactions with real value to make EOS more valuable. That's what we need.
Period. There you go. There's your answer. And guys, continue to, if you have questions along the way, populate them. We are going to start winding it down now. So if you did have anything for Adriana, now is your time. What else do I have for you? Well, let's get to know you a little bit more then. I learned this the other day. Someone told me that, whatever your, we'll say, top 3 favorite movies are, that in the movie making industry, whatever your top 3 movies are personally will translate into what type of producer you would be if you were like in Hollywood. I was like, wow. So I know my top 2, I always say, are Pulp Fiction and Space Jam. And I had to think really hard about number 3, which was, I really like The Matrix, but I also really like Kill Bill. So anyways, those are my faves. And I'd love to know what yours are.
So my number 1 movie, like, I think it's just a piece of art, is Goodfellas. It just is.
Okay.
It just is perfect. It's got everything to it. It's got romance. It's got gangsters. It's got action. It's got for me, that movie is just perfect. So Goodfellas is definitely up there. And I am a huge Audrey Hepburn fan. I always have been. I try not to say it out loud because it's almost cliche now. But Breakfast at Tiffany's is honestly just, it has always spoken to my soul. I feel very drawn to Holly Golightly and her kind of aloof, I don't really know where I'm going, but I'm going with purpose kind of attitude. And for me, she just is the perfect character in that movie. She's a dreamer, and she's a fashion icon, but she's also kind of scared of the world around her. So that movie for me is just perfect. And recently, I saw Casablanca. I had never seen it, and really fell in love with it. I thought that movie as well was like a perfect testament to things don't always work out the way you think they're going to.
But in a good way, right?
But in a great way. I mean, accepting the failures in life are just like, it's just part of life. And I think when you can learn to manage your expectations better, or just not have them, you're going to be like a whole lot happier.
Learning to manage your expectations, something I know I every day aim to get better at. Good reminder there heading into the week, guys. Manage your expectations. Okay, and we do have another question for you from the audience. Or man, we're getting a lot of this EOS topic. You were right. It's dramatic. Cam Moshi wants to know, what is Cypherglass's place in the future of EOS? And I think you kind of touched on this already, but let's hear it again.
In EOS, we're supported. I will always share my thoughts. I will always contribute, the profits that we've earned off of the blockchain back into the ecosystem. It's something we promised at the very beginning, and it's something we intend on doing. So my commitment remains. I'm still campaigning for votes. I'm still out there. I have not given up. I still truly believe EOS is a fantastic tool for value transfer and could one day help beat ACH wire payments in the US. And even be used as a real currency here. So I am still bullish. I still think there's plenty of meat on this bone to chew off, and I'm never going to stop leveraging for the community where I got my start.
Love it. Love it. So in your opinion, then there is an opportunity to kind of create like a resurgence or a comeback.
Yeah. There's an underdog vibe going on, and I'm about it. It's there. And I think for me, it's like, I'm not going to do free work, right? I'm not going to devalue myself there, but I will put into this project what I've gotten out of it. And that's a lot. So, I'm still around, and I'm open to ideas, and I'm open to different ways to fix the issues. But I'm not going to lie or follow blindly just to get votes or just to get support. So if we stay out of a paid position, We stay out of a paid position, but I'm not going to compromise our ethos to make money.
There you go. Okay, now we've got the good questions coming through here. I have to ask this one before I forget, and then my buddy Tech Geek. I know you're an avid listener of the show. You've been here since day one, so we'll get your question in here. Maybe even Mr. Lovejoy. All right, because I recognize that name. But first, I just want to know, because this is like my biggest takeaway from being immersed in the Cryptowriter space and just the whole just blockchain vibe is the more you can collaborate, the more everyone will get to that goal that they desire to be at. So like if you had to create some type of ideal collaboration scenario, I'm going to put you on the spot here, but between the crypto writer community and what you're doing at Cypherglass, what do you think would be like the coolest collaboration just off the top of your head?
We should host bounties. Like straight up, we can help host bounties and bring real tools into the ecosystem. That's what this ecosystem is missing. And I want to leverage my insane Rolodex that I've collected for 3 years running around the world against bringing attention to this network the right way and bringing deal flow to this network the right way. Everyone go home and think about who you know and how to leverage that against our network for legitimate transaction value. Let's throw all of those ideas into a pot, take the best 3, and let's hit them as a community. That's what we should do.
Boom. I feel like that answer right there was the price of admission. So thank you for that. And we got 2 more questions here and then we'll wrap things up. So from Tech Geek, I'm going to give you both questions here. He said, is there a way to invest in Cypherglass? I'm sure you have an answer for that. And then Brandon Lovejoy wants to know your thoughts on Eden. And I think you did cover it a little bit, but go ahead and dive into both of those if you could.
So there is no way to directly invest in Cypherglass. I'm proud to say that our cap table is solid. We may take in, and this is, I'm going to leave this nugget here at the end because I can't say too much and I didn't want to say it earlier, but we are looking at partnering with a very legitimate, real tech company that, out of Canada, and hopefully bringing in some new partners to create that legitimate deal flow I keep speaking of. So we are really interested in payment processing and building a new ecosystem that the institutional world could use that could leverage EOS. So right now there's no way to invest directly, but we will kindly take your EOS votes because those do matter. Literally every vote you give us helps us earn EOS. We're not earning any right now, so we could really use your votes. Or best yet, if you want to invest in us and you want to help, go yell at EOS Nation, at Brock Pierce, at anybody who has a giant EOS proxy and isn't voting for Cypherglass right now. Please go tweet them, go bug them, go drive them crazy because they're not voting for us. And I kind of think it's lame. So yeah, that's how you can help. And
squeaky wheel gets the oil, right?
Exactly. Brandon is a personal friend of mine, Lovejoy. And so to answer your question, Brandon, I am not supportive of a human run on-chain connecting mechanism to the EOS network. I think that when you tie the governance and the money together, it creates problems. So I'd like to see Eden not be Eden. I'd like it to be an LLC that's called the EOS Foundation that helps manage legitimate deal flow, that has paid positions, and is sponsored by Block One.
Love it. And here we go. This is the power of speaking things into existence. One of our community members says, when is the Adriana crypto finny coming out? So we'll see what happens. I know that's something we've kind of talked about behind closed doors, if we could do that for our guests. So we'll see, but that would be cool too. So thank you. I guess I'll start with our audience and everyone who's joining us here live on the replay as well. Depending on when you joined, remember, we are doing trivia based on this interview. It might not be too late. So go ahead and the link to join the Cryptowriter Telegram is in the chat. And then we've dropped Adriana's link in there multiple times. So just scroll through it. I do believe YouTube does like a 24-hour period where you can't see the live chat. I have no idea why. Oh, well, that's how it is. So that's the perks, I guess, of being here actually live. But again, on the replay, we encourage you to get involved. Throw us some thumbs up so we can keep these shows rolling and bring on more high-profile guests, just like Adriana. go follow her on Twitter. You want to give your Twitter one more time, Adriana?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at my first name, Adriana, Adria, and then underscore MDZ. Just go type in Adriana Mendez. I'm sure it'll come up. It's like that crazy EO scroll in there.
And I'm gonna speak on Adriana's behalf, guys. This will be up to her if she wants to follow you back. But I feel like if you put "Honesty Slays Dragons" in quotations and tag her on Twitter, we'll get that vibe going there. So here we go. Adriana, any parting words of wisdom for our audience?
I don't have any wisdom, but I have a hell of a lot of appreciation for you guys. So it's just a big fat thank you. There are some people in this watching this right now who have literally helped lay bricks on my path to where I am today. So none of this happens without you guys, and I am eternally grateful for every one of your likes, tweets, tags, posts, votes, everything. Just thank you so much.
Love it. Well, thank you for joining us here today on The Shift, Adriana. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, Adriana is the CEO of Cypherglass, which is a company that is building decentralization into the world. It's funny, I'm looking at my notes here. I had the first note, talk drama. I think we hit it today. So thank you once again, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode. Adriana, I think you probably want to say like bye one more time or something.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
There we go. All right, guys. Remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.